Hi everyone, this is a re-upload of playing Sturmbot for Day of Defeat Steam 1.3. First video I made, quality was really bad, sound was really bad. I hope this one's better. Alright, if you came here, you want to play Day of Defeat Steam 1.3, dates back to the early 2000s, great game, but it hasn't got bots. On Linux, bots are a problem. They never really got developed. They do work on older versions, but Steam 1.3, it's a bit of a problem. Haven't been able to get them running. Shrikebot or MarineBot are the other two. They're not going for Linux. So unfortunately, or fortunately, this does run under Proton. So you've got Linux, you need bots, you need Proton. First thing is for the install, there's a link in the description. Go get that. Don't install straight away. Let's have a look at some an install process, and then we'll get into some of the files and what files work for you. So first thing, install it. This is a fresh install. I haven't got Proton. We'll click that in a little bit. I haven't got any special launch options or anything else. Sturmbot installs. You can go online. When you go online, it won't run. When you're offline, it'll run. Pretty simple. Let's go in. First thing you should do is run the game. Not because it needs extra files or anything else, just to check if it's working. So the first thing I do, I'm recording a video. Let's get all this down so you can hear me. Okay. Next thing. Auto help, I usually turn that off, leave the rest the same. Auto help, it's okay for new users, but just know it's there. You can turn it off. In game, you'll get a whole lot of messages over your screen, and they're not helpful. I'll leave that on for now. New users, I'll do this video for you. Other people, you might get a bit bored, but these are the things I do. Make sure you've installed it, and then you've checked it. Make sure it runs before you go installing any custom stuff. Video, we'll get into this later, but first thing you do in video with this old game, depending on your monitor, I get the brightness right up, and that will happen. Back to options. Keyboard. When we install Sturmbot, by the way, this is the default, but Sturmbot will add another 2 layers above this first section. It does that by default. I'll leave it like that. Some people like it, but just know that when you go in here next, there'll be, this will be lower. There'll be 2 put in on the top of it. Normal things I do. I like this around the other way. Personal preference. That's about all I do. There's a couple other things I do, but that'll do for now. Apply. Always apply. And also this last tab here, content. If we're going to install some custom files, make sure that's ticked and apply it. It'll do that again. And obviously your video settings. I'm running no beta participation, and this is the Half-Life 25 anniversary update, so it gives you this a field of view fix. Do make sure that's ticked, otherwise your gun model will be, and your whole screen will be like zoomed in. This fixes that. There's a little bit in the README of the download about how to solve a few HUD and GUI problems that are in this game. This monitor I'm on and this system I'm on, I don't have much problems with the HUD and GUI files. They're optional. Some people have a lot of problems with stuff running off the screen. I'll show you a bit more about that later on. Let's just start a game. I always untick that. You can get unwelcome visitors in your local game. NZO is a good place to start. So bulk standard, Linux native. We're set up, the game looks fine. Just wait for it to load. And I'll show you some issues that, you know, when you start up you might see. I don't. First issue I see on a lot of people's screens. The ammo, down on the bottom right, the ammo, that times 10, sometimes that runs off the screen. And if you got that, you've probably got other issues as well. Everyone will have issues with the kills and deaths area, and I'll quickly show you that. I've just pressed the title key, which is just below the escape key, and brought up the developer console. So there's a command that will extend the time kills and deaths stays up there, and it's right there. Just be careful when you hard death notice times 6. Don't start typing. Just highlight that first, otherwise it'll disappear. I'll show you that. If I start typing, backspace, 30, that worked. Let me try that again. Yeah, it didn't do it. Sometimes that'll completely disappear, depending on where your mouse is on the cursor or something like that. You'll know it when you see it, that bug. So I've just made that 30 seconds that the kills and death will display. Let me get that up, resume the game, type kill. Just kill me something. Now I just want you to look in the kills and deaths area, that font, get it over here. See how what they call the drop shadow. The drop shadow is untidy. It's a bit speckly, it's a bit rough looking. And now look at the same green lettering in the font. See how nice that is? It's a bit larger, but let's do that again. Put it up against the white. It's smooth, it's lovely. You can see it just about everywhere, even on the green. The default fonts in the HUD are shocking. In my custom HUD, I've changed the lettering so you can see it a bit better. I've made that darker, and also this one here, I'll show you later, but if you've got 30 bots on the server and 2 spectators, you won't see them all. The scoreboard is too small. That's okay if you're only playing if you're playing 16 or so, or 12, you know, that won't bother you. The other thing is, excuse me, the other thing with the scoreboard, have a look up the top. You know, the title's okay, then you go down to class and status and OBJ score, objective score. They're overlapping. I got a font fix for that. So kills and deaths, the other thing with kills and deaths, I'll show you that soon, is the images in the kills and deaths, they're shocking. They're all different height images, and sometimes you get font overlaps, and I've got a fix for that. I've remastered the images so they're all 24 pixels high, and the text doesn't overlap it anymore. And also some font fixes from what I showed you before, that disgusting looking jagged font. What else with the standard HUD? Yeah, in the download, page 14, if you're seeing problems with the HUD, I got some fixes. You go off and read that and we'll explore that in a minute. But yeah, this is running. It's fine. Let's have a look at, I'd press the title key again, little wavy symbol underneath your escape key. Let's put a net graph. Whoop, no caps, please. It's going nuts. Still got caps on. Underscore net graph 0, put 3, submit. As you can see, this is a 1920 by 1080 monitor running at 100 Hertz, and it's fine. Things are a lot stronger on Linux native. Everything looks fine here, and we've got our binds like my crouch and sprint. Just make sure everything's running okay before you install everything, and your HUD looks okay. It'll determine what you download. Okay, let's get out of this. So everything's running good. First thing, before you install the files, doesn't take long if you've got good downloads. Do what I did there, right click, properties. We're going to need this, at least. You can install versions of it, but this worked for me. And while we're at it, this puts another layer. Get out of that. It seems I've already got that installed. Let me go off and have a quick look at my directory, common. I guess we'll see. Steam apps. Yeah, in common there should be some, Proton stuff down in here, but we'll find out. Let's just go and play. Compatibility tool failed. Okay, you get a lot of errors here. Properties again, compatibility. Turn it off and on again, I suppose. There we go. It just downloaded. It didn't download for some reason. Manage, browse local files. What do we got in here now? We better check to see if this works. Play. No, still got compatibility issues. Restart Steam. Sorry about this. This is part of what you might experience as well. So I'll put it in the video. Properties, compatibility, play. Not sure what's going on there. When you have these sort of problems, let's do this. Verify. Now it's downloading. You might find this too, so I'll leave it in the download for the new users, you other guys that know this backwards. You probably already came across this problem. downloading quite a bit. Oh yeah, those two. That's what I expected to see. That should have happened straight away, but it didn't. Because I've had this and I've removed it, it probably thought it still had it. Because I'm manually 1.1 gigabyte. Again, sorry, won't take long. Come on. So, while that's doing that, where do you get this? It's in the links in the description, and it should take you to this section of the Sturmbot.org. This is my website for the old Day of Defeat. There's a Windows version, and go right down. There's the old one, but it's this one you want. This is where it'll take you. You can download it there or here. I've already downloaded mine. It doesn't take long. How big was this? Not showing. It's not very big. There's not a lot in it. Let's have a look at... Get rid of this. I've got mine in downloads, I think. There it is. It's not very big. Let's have a look. Yeah, 7.2. Extract it. This folder is there. So what's in here? A basic README for you people that just want to, what is this? And then quickly read and how to install. And you know how to install files, but other people won't. So there's I think it's 17 pages of what this is. You can go through and read that. If you have problems, this is going to help. And this is what I was saying about the hard. Do you need these files? Probably not. You might be happy, but if you have problems, I want you to, new users, even experienced guys, please read that page. Credits. There's a known bug with the custom GUI. Read that. Most people won't need that for ultra wide, really. Ultra wide only. The problem with ultra wide is it stretches the image so far that the US guy, the biggest one in the image, his helmet gets cut off, and people don't like that. Not really necessary. This one here, fonts in ultra wide or any resolutions. The way all the files work, after looking at them for many years, especially with ultra wides, you put it on and you have this problem. That's in Windows, but Linux is the same. My ultra wide is a 21:9 aspect ratio with that as its native native resolution, and you can see, look at the size of the HUD there, and all the images are tiny. The fonts get messed up, and when I reduced it to that resolution, full screen, things started to look a lot better. And it's because of the heights of the images. All these little images here. They work on heights. The scaling in this is disgusting for fonts and images, but that's one method, is go off here. There's my native. And then I kept it in full screen and went down to that resolution. The closer you get to 1000, the better it will look. The images will come up, and this is the Linux. This one here is my big ultra wide screen on Linux, so it helps no matter what OS you're on. Okay, enough of that. In this extended README, let's go back to the top. gives you some advice on bots. And here's the sections. Number 1, Sturmbot, shows you there. I've labelled them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I regard number 1 and number 5, the menu, as, you know, they're like, everyone put them on, please. The HUD, GUI, crosshairs, consider them optional extras. So it goes through, it tells you all about it. There's custom crosshairs, you know, what the folders, how to install it in detail. Other people know that you go get the download and you whack them over to a certain directory and that's it, that's the install. It'll take you through, if you need extra help, it'll show you that, and I'll show you that too. Yeah, and also that allow custom content. If your files aren't working, remember that. There's a bit of advice on maps. And there's expanded of what this looks like. The custom command menu is here. You can do a lot in it. That image is not very good, but we will show you that in game. Custom crosshairs. This is a sprite image .spr, and you can put 16 custom crosshairs in there, plus your standard one. So you can say the standard one is crosshair 0, 1, 2, little white dot. There's the whites, reds, greens, and some custom ones that have dark and light dots that come up on dark and light surfaces. That's what these ones are about. Specials for problematic maps. So yeah, scoreboard fixes. I've actually adjusted the files to make the scoreboard look better. Spectator bar, these are like standard ones. I think right there too you can see the difference in the heights where the text is. There's a set of files that fix and even out those heights. That one there, spectator bars going over the top of objective icons, and you know they're a bit big, and so I fine-tuned that. Credits. Let's get rid of that and just show you what we're going to do. So there's my download files. Number 1 and number 5 are like, we should install them as non-optional for Sturmbot. So right click here to find where we're going to put these files. Quite easy. Manage, right click, manage, browse local files. Pops up for you. Goes right into the Half-Life directory. And in the download, on each category, we start in the Half-Life. So we open Half-Life. Now we're in the same directory. There's DoD, there's DoD, there's DoD add-ons. That ain't in there. DoD add-on is a special custom file where you can place a whole lot of things that are normally in the DoD directory. Same files. Right? There's escape config, escape, there's WAD files and all sorts of things. So, you know, for custom stuff, this is great. Go back to the Half-Life, 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 same folder, so you get it right. Certain custom files can go and hit. Don't try it with maps. I've had no success putting map files in here. Put your maps in the DoD directory, but for certain files it's great to have, because if you've got custom content that's misbehaving, you know where it is. It's in here. And you can sort of rename that. Once it's in there, rename the folder, and it won't look in there anymore. You can troubleshoot. But anyway, it's plenty of ways to do this. You can drag and drop, cut and paste, but just make sure you start off with Half-Life, this is the downloads, Half-Life, and make sure in the download folder, let's get rid of that. So Half-Life, Half-Life, I highlighted both of them, and drag and drop. Don't drop them in the wrong folder. And this is Nobara, and this is the file manager Dolphin. So bring it down to an area like this, and we get this move. We don't want to move. We're going to leave that alone. We just want to copy here, and then I get this. Yours will be different. I go apply to all, write into, and then we've got files that are the same. Apply to all, overwrite. So again, leave that alone. Half-Life, back to the download. And then this one here, we'll show you the others later, as again, Half-Life, DoD add-on. We can copy, paste. I get the same, yours will be different. Write into means, we've already got a DoD add-on folder. So what that's done, that file there is the menu. It's also, let me find it. Oh, not in DoD. There it is. See, it's in there. And it starts off there. All this is it's got a section, and then you click on that, and you've got some options in here, and they're named that. This is what you see in game, and what you don't see is commands. So that's how the command menu work, and I've just, as you can see here, it's not very long, and that's in Half-Life DoD. So the DoD add-on, when we go up to, we've put in the DoD add-on folder in Half-Life, and there's DoD. The game is going to look at the file in here. There's command menu.txt. It will look in the main DoD folder, and then it will look in DoD add-on, and it's going to use this greatly expanded version of the command menu.txt, which is the menu bring up in game by pressing X. As you can see, there's a lot of Sturmbot and a whole lot of stuff for not only Sturmbot loading, but also the special fun modes. There's a lot. And also some graphics and audio, which are handy. These are commands again, sections, and then they end up in a whole string of commands. Right? Audio, netcode, netgraph section, a netcode section, some frames per second settings, chat and HUD, you'll love that one, minimap, that's it. Okay, enough of that boring stuff. So okay, what we've done, back to this, we've installed that one and that one, and Proton, I hope, is ready to go now. So let's press play and see what happens. It might all turn to absolute you know what. Oh great. We'll just check a few things. Video, window, yep. Content, see that? Always check that. It turns on and off with Proton, and always apply. That will always happen, that blackout comes back. It's like the game restarts. What else? Yeah, so we've checked that. We've done everything on our keyboard, and I think that's still saved. It looks okay. Video looks okay. Let's just go to Anzio. If you've got a friend online, that's ticked, they can come in, so don't want anyone rolling in at the moment. Let's see what happens. So we haven't affected anything in the HUD. We haven't put a GUI on or crosshairs or anything. This is bulk standard, and that's how you might like it or want to try it like it is. One thing I must quickly check. Yeah, they're okay. Now, as you saw there was a quick message, Sturmbot 1.9, Johan Lin. You know the bots and waypoints by Marti, who makes a lot of waypoints for a lot of bots, a lot of bot systems. Best waypointer in the world, I say. I'm pretty good at waypointing, but this guy is just dog nuts. If you see that name on a waypoint, you know it's going to be a good one. And waypoints, by the way, for a bot program is a whole heap of poles and waypoints and pathways connecting to say bot do this, go here, and the bots know where to go. Here they go. Excuse me. On the first load up, these guys, they'll take their time. The next map you load will be faster. They'll come in faster. Just remember that. Oh wait, on the first one they take an age to get loaded up. Scoreboard, we can see them coming in. They do take a while to get in, and that's good for the server. They don't all come in once. It might crash the server. And this machine is running, there's 30 bots that are going to come in. That's a lot. This machine is a AMD Ryzen 5 2700, quite an old one. It's got a 16 gigabytes of system RAM, and it's got quite a decent entry card, AMD RX 6600 with I think about 8 gigabytes of video RAM. So it's not the absolute beast that some people have, and but it's no slouch either. It's fine. It runs 30 bots, and you'll see the frames per second down there. As we get on a more busier map, maybe a poorly made map, you might see that drop, and you want to lower the amount of bots that are coming in. Now, as you can see, we've got a problem with the scoreboard. It's cutting off. You can't see any spectators, you can't see the rest of the Axis team, and it's going to get worse. The other thing is, we'll get back to performance. This isn't going to work for everyone with a 15-year-old CPU and an old video card. You need a bit of grunt to run. Linux doesn't need it, but when you put Proton and 30 bots on, the bot program and 30 bots, you might see your frames per second going down. Have a look down there now. We were on about 100, and now in places 50 or so. So first thing I want to do, and you can see under Proton, look at my MO number now. It's gone off the screen. So I've got defects in the HUD, and have a look at the kills and deaths, and you can see some untidy text, and we'll fix that. So I've got problems now. I'm on Proton. I didn't have those problems before, but now I've got problems. Okay, press X on your keyboard. As you can see, you used to have only like that. Now we've got these sections. If I want to reduce the bots, even though they're still loading, let's get it down to 8 players if you want, 4 versus 4, 6 versus 6, 8 versus 8, These two are great for DoD maps. This is all you need is 12 actually. What just happened there? They all left. And now they're coming back. And when you load the next map, this is about the speed they'll load. Right? Start up your first map when you first start up. Day of Defeat. It's quite slow for them to load, which is a good thing. The other thing, you look at the text down there. A lot of people don't like the text. I certainly don't. Here's something you can do. We'll skip all this stuff and just go straight down chat and HUD. There's a lot we can do here. So chat, size and font. I don't like that yellow. I like white. There you go. Press X again. Chat, HUD, size. In the files they have a selection for small, medium, default, and large. Large is a bit too large. But as you can see, that's a command. And we can just set it here. How's that? A lot better. Prefer that? Really, really nice font in Linux in the chat. Terrible font. Look at the top. The drop shadow is all jagged and yuck compared to that chat font. Will fit. If you don't like it, you can leave that like that. If you are okay with, and you don't have that problem down there with numbers running off the screen, that's fine. Don't have to have the custom HUD. Let's press X again. That net graph down there. I'll show you these, but right now we can change the net graph. It's already on this type 3. That's more complex. There's all sorts of things we can do here. Type 2 is a sort of a fault finding. If you go on my website, there's a player guide on why do we have all these different net graphs. Anyway, press X again. But I just wanted to show net graph position and style. We can go. We've just changed the style of net graph and we've put it in the center. A lot of people play like that. Good on your bots. But we can put that low right. As you can see, it's gone above where you might have, let's say, a taller clip like the Thompson or something like that, and it's just put it across there. But if it's not where you want it, X, net graph, height, put it anywhere you like. It just saves you this sort of thing. That's usually the best default. It just saves you mucking around, knowing all the commands that do all this. And now, I like my net graph over there. Suit yourself. You can adjust it. Let's just have a look at that menu again. So in here, as you saw, we can add bots, fill server, pick whatever you want. You can empty the server, kick all, rejoin. That's a auto team balance. I think it's on by default. Bot controls. There's a fair bit of commands in Sturmbot. Chat, squad. This one's great. If I turn that on and go up to an access spot, he's not going to shoot me. It's like an invisible. Really for waypointing and mucking around. Skill, I think this sort of works. I think you really have to set it in the bot.cfg file in Half-Life, DoD, Sturmbot, and in there you should find a file called bot.config where you can set the skill. Don't think it works on the fly. might work after you load a map. Random bot skill, reaction time, learn rate. Bots learn. These bots have got a fresh install. They've got fresh waypoint files, and they make other files for them. They read that file. If a bot comes across a danger or something like that, or a better way to navigate somewhere, they'll put it in a learn file, and other bots will read it, and they will take that information. So behavior, learning, no shooting, and rank. Rank just turns off that little lieutenant someone in front of their name. Weapons, friendly fire, knives, they're fun. Knives, pistol only, grenades, grenade throw rate. Fun modes. Be careful with fun modes, especially it's that one, this one especially. Depending on the strength of your PC, above 10, and especially with like Linux with Proton on it and this bot program and 30 bots, and you turn that on, 30 bot, you'll crash your PC. It is nuts. Well, all it is when you shoot a bot, a whole lot of blood and gore comes out. You know, like that little option there, and circuit boards instead of gibs from, you know, bits and pieces of humans. That turns into circuit boards. Ghosts, that's fun. And the standard Sturmbot menu, I left it in there. That's how we used to. Most of those are in the menu already, but I left it there for people that like it. You can bind a key to that, by the way. So press 9 to cancel. X again. So, getting on here, graphics and audio. You can just hear the background noises of the maps, the artillery and explosions. So let's toggle them off. Now they're gone. That's very handy on maps that have explosions, and, you know, beach maps, DoD Overlord, B2 made by Marty, Charlie, that sort of thing. Drives you nuts. Press X again. Most of these will quit when you do that. And you'll notice on a lot of these, if there's a setting, I put default. So if you want to know what the default is, I've tried to put the default in everything. There's a lot in this one. Let's just go over up here, see it better, because the Half-Life 25 anniversary update, we used to see a lot of detail in here, and it doesn't anymore. And then there's detail in the ground and detail on here. I got some quick fixes here. So graphics, quick fix, low, medium, default, highest. Let's go highest. See what just happened? And in the old game before they updated it, you see more detail on that stuff as well, but sprite blending is a bit broken. That's... someone's going to come and kill me. That just watching out for bots. Let's go in there again. That was highest. There's default. There you go. Everything's nice and simple now. That's best frames per second. I don't think it right now it doesn't make any difference. That's just, what is it running on 100 looking that way. That's up to maximum. Highest. Well, it's got a bit of a hit. It's not much. Might gain you 5 frames per second. It depends on your PC. Doesn't really matter for this one. So we'll go on the lowest. That should stay that way. Permanent setting until you change it. It'll actually write to your config config.ini file. Anyway, most of these do that. Let's press on. Sorry to bore you with this stuff, but a new user might find it interesting. You can skip the video to other things. So net graph, graphics. There's a whole lot of settings you can do in there. These are great. On DoD Camellia, it's got rain, and people that don't like rain, or rain, flashes, smoke, on DoD Charlie, there's a whole lot of smoke and effects that will drain your frames per second. You can turn them off there. Reflective flashes, that's your flash out of your rifle. There's a whole lot of things. You can adjust your gamma here. You don't have to go to your main menu. You can adjust it here. Get brightness, gamma, shaders, sprite blending. That's one that's broken. Fog. If you don't have fog on, it'll fog is sort of broken, but all of this is for, you know, turning on and off if you want to take a good screenshot or something like that. Right, enough of that. Netgraph I've showed you. You can explore that. Netcode rates. It's just, you can set your rates here if you want. Rate, so you'll update rate. Alright. Next section, FPS settings. In my first video I put this on and I went, why isn't this working? And I forgot my own advice. If you're going to use this, this is the default. You can't use anything below here. Select that first. Right, so the lock is off. Press it again, and then, you know, this is a 100 Hertz monitor. I was running at 100 Hertz there. We can lock it down to 60. See, that just changed. And then other people, myself included, like to lock it down to 0.5, just under the whatever monitor you have. I got 100 Hertz, so let's lock it down to 99. There you go. Your choice. It's there if you want to. They are standard commands. People do use them. Not important for some people. Important for others. What else we got? So that's all them. Chat HUD. You've seen this. I can have white, yellow, red, any size I want. HUD area. This really gets into screenshots. You can turn the auto help messages off here. This is for making screenshots, so we'll go through it. It won't hurt anything. Some mini-map controls and weapon. So HUD combinations, no HUD, keep the weapon. There you go. And we can turn the mini-map off too. I can still shoot. Bullets still come out, but nothing else is on the screen. I can make a screenshot. X again, chart, HUD area, whoop, HUD combinations, clear, everything. You can still shoot. So if you're going to make a screenshot, there you go. Some tools. Let's get all that back. HUD area, HUD combinations, reset. There you go. What else was there? There's a default again. All that is, everything's there but your weapon. Okay. Let's reset that back to default. A lot of people put a lot of commands in. You're typing forever, and that just helps. It's all in the menu. You don't have to muck around. Alright, so yeah, everything's working. We've got some problems with the HUD, and let's look at that next. Let's get out of this. And I'm going to do some HUD and GUI, so you see some changes in font colors and stuff like that. Righto, back to our folders. So, always back, make sure you're in Half-Life. Everything's Half-Life in here. HUD, GUI, crosshairs. That's our options. We open that one up, Half-Life. Now the folders is the same. Drag and drop. Make sure nothing's highlighted. Just go down to where there's a file, not a folder. drop it in, copy, don't move it because it'll come out of the download, copy, and Navara, I get this again. So that was the HUD. GUI background, you can see by this image, this is ultra wide, 21:9, I think this, yeah, 21:9 aspect ratio, and aspect ratios on a normal monitor 16:9, this one's 21:9, then you have 32:9 where it gets even wider and thinner, and they're the ones that have a lot of problems with the HUD. This guy's helmet gets cut off up here, so I've remastered it, made him smaller. He's a little bit prettier. That's all this is. If if you got a normal 16:9 monitor, you don't need this, and it might become a problem. It's an extra. It's an extra loading issue. We'll put it on so you can see it. DoD add-on, copy, right into. So that's installed, that's installed, that's installed, that's installed. This one last. Again, it's an option. Half-Life. It'll go in DoD add-ons, and all it is for people that already have a user config. Be careful here. This will replace your file. It probably won't replace it in the DoD folder, but it'll certainly overwrite it in game. If you've got a user config file, excuse me a minute, my mouse just died. Something that's in the plasma type environment. Your mouse might die if you've got a mouse of a certain type. Anyway, it's back again. I unplugged it and plugged it back in if you ever have that problem. So as it says in the README, I think we saw it. I'll just grab it. It's over here on another screen, my big one. Crosshairs. 16 of them. So what you just saw there is this .spr sprite file image, which I haven't got a preview for on this, and to make sure you get the right crosshair, we've got a little script running with a position of where these are, tell the engine which one to use, and you cycle through these by pressing the keyboard key P, and you might have a favorite one, like my favorite one's number 2 there. That might be a favorite, or that one, or that one. In the extended README, there's a way to find out what's your favorite one and have that always come up. It will always come up as this one, or whatever you set in this file. That's the command there to set your favorite. Right. So just people that already have a user config, you know what that is. This will override it. Beware. Opening that up, instead of you know where your user config is, you can place this in. Right. It's a script to cycle through the 16 different styles in that image. It's got a bind. If you're using P for something else, there's a bind there you can change. You can cut and paste this in your own user config. There's the where you set the favorite crosshair style, and also this is a default that brings that back to the default setting. This works well on some crosshairs and not well on others, and as you can see there, they change. That changes depending on what crosshair you've got. Alright. So have we installed it yet? I don't think we did. again, DoD add-on, Half-Life, Half-Life, copy, drag and drop, whatever you like. Just be careful what folder. Paste one folder, right into. Okay, everything is installed now. We'll go off and check out what we just did, see what difference it made, see if it crashes. Looks okay. As you can see, we've got a change here. NetGraph font looks a bit different. We'll just, obviously it's running custom content. Yeah, that just changed. I won't worry about that right now. Just be aware things might change around on everything you do. Everything there should be alright. Okay. Let's go off to Anzio again. Same map. See what a difference. As you remember, I had that problem. All this looks good. You know, check all your screens. Make sure the custom HUD is actually working for you. There's so many differences in like Linux native and Proton and different screens, and it might not work for you. As you can see, down on the lower right there, NetGraph font is a bit finer. The 10 has shrunk down and it now fits on the screen. The waypoints by Marty, that message there has shrunk down a little bit. The chat, still the same. Exactly, I set it at small. It's still good and lovely, and you can see that font is nice and clear and not jagged. So it's one of the things I've done. I don't know why I'm doing that. Just put kill in console to kill yourself. Oh. Yeah, excuse me a minute. I just lost all sound and something very strange happened. There's a lot of bugs. Not in the custom files, in Linux and Proton. I've just completely lost my sound. I'm glad you're seeing this. This might end the video. Right. Try again. Alright, that's better. We've got sound now. See the weird stuff that happens. Back to where we were. Unbelievable. Now I've noticed in you install some custom stuff sometimes. It might have been the custom file. I don't know. Hasn't done that before, and I've done this I don't know how many times. Alright, fonts. You can see the fonts are a little bit different. Let's have a look at the scoreboard. It's a little bit darker. You can see a little bit more. And it's bigger. They look alright. Go to spectate. the bands, the spectator bands, are now smaller, and they're not overlapping the objective icons anymore. We'll wait for the bots to load to show you kills and deaths. You know, in the font, it's so nice and clean. And I found in the files, if you get other fonts and put the font type system in there, they come up looking like that nice clean font. It's not jagged, it's lovely. And that's what I've done with the kills and deaths area and a couple of others like the target ID. Let's get back into the play mode. So you know, that's as the bots come in and fill it up, you'll notice this will take 30. This scoreboard will not take 30 players plus 2 spectators, no problem at all. And you look up the top, the class, the status and objective score font has been fixed. They are no longer overlapping, and you can read it a bit better. Go Allies, my favourite. Allies rifle. And look at the kills and deaths now. So the little files in there are 24 high, it's separated. The guns, they don't know, the text doesn't overlap anymore. We'll put on that other command. Oh, by the way, if that command is actually in here. HUD area, death notices, 10 seconds. I'll stay there for 10 seconds. The default is written there at 6. Let's just show you, you'll see a little bit more. We'll turn the minimap on. Right, that's how I like mine set up. You might be different. As you can see, a lot cleaner. And we'll show you like 14 play. Still got a bit to go. We're going up to 90. Stressing the hell out of this thing. I should turn my brightness up. Won't worry about that for now. Yeah, look at the fonts. No matter where you put them, putting that little change. Unfortunately, I can't get the size up. You see the target ID smaller. I can't change the size. I can't customize the size when I put that system type font change in there. But I think it's when I choose another resolution, they scale properly. You saw a little bit. You see the frames per second dropping off a bit there. Just get that down to 60. We'll lock it. There you go. You see it's not. When you see the 40 coming up. Gameplay, if you add smoke and everything else, and see it's dropped down, still holding. So that gives you I'm running, like I said, a pretty old Ryzen 5 16 RAM. I've got a little bit of artifacts there when I'm swaying backwards and forwards. 16 RAM and a decent card, AMD RX 6600. And we're running 30 bots in Linux with Proton. This is playable. Good one, bots. So, that's basically it. That's the install. That's what this is. Sturmbot on Linux, running very acceptable. I tested this under Kubuntu, Ubuntu, some other Arch-based Manjaro. By far, by a long way, stability not only in this game, other games, and desktop. Installing a printer, making sure you can get your network files, browsers. Firefox runs great on this. Everything about Nabara was a pleasant experience. There are some, like Endeavour OS, that won't suit everyone, but you should end up with this if you've got the right drivers, if you've got everything set up okay. It doesn't really matter what Linux distro you use, but for anyone new to Linux, go off and check out Nabara. Oh my god. Let's have a quick look. We'll get out of this and we'll put on a map. So to recap, in your download, go off here if you're having problems. Do read that page 15. Was it 15? Yeah. Do have a read. GUI issues, and this one here. It'll help you a lot. Yeah, Nabara. This guy. So what you just saw there, I've told you what what the PC is, and I am using that one. His default one is up there, and I'm using the KDE environment. Really cool. While we're up here, DoD bits, not DoD bits, Sturmbot.org. I got a stack of stuff that no one knows about. No one. If you want to customize the HUD, if you want to do something to the GUI, make a background. Edit that scoreboard is horrible to edit. It's fully explained in there. It's not just one file. It's 3 of them, and they all of these work together for the scoreboard and the spectator area. Fully explained in that one. HUD files, GUI files, how to add custom files, all sorts of these fixes are actually in the download. How to make a spray, those command menus, the ones you saw, how to make one of them. You want to read a manual, player guides. I have an unofficial Day of Defeat manual. It's the manual, and it's been adjusted. Little things like maps, and I put it in the view of you're going to play Sturmbot, and it also gives some advice. What's Anzio, and some some advice on how to play Anzio, what it is, what it looks like. The caps, tried to do that. Who made it? One interesting one, when you go right through, I think it's DoD northbound, Forest. Oh, the bots were a problem on DoD Jagged, but I'm raving on here. There's northbound. Passed it, didn't I? Yeah. A little bit of advice about what that is for new users, and sometimes I put in a link to, who made this. There's his gamer's name, Finland. Portfolio is interesting, and he worked on the early levels of Angry Birds. So there you go, the DoD team way back in the day. Look where they went. I think this will still work. This guy worked on Angry Birds. He also made this map, which is beautiful. Tell the guy's got talent. Anyway, whole lot of stuff on Sturmbot for you to look at. So enough of that. For new users, I'll just continue on a little bit. Let's have a look at installing maps, especially this one. Okay. Like I said, you download the map, you get this. You open up the zip, that's what it looks like. Don't put it in that DoD add-on which simulates the DoD folder. That's the DoD folder. If you read the README on maps, they've got all different ways of installing them, but WAD file goes in this directory. You can see a maps folder, and Sturmbot. Just go there. There's a waypoint file. So the bots work on the map. It needs it. And now we have Sturmbot. And it's got a waypoints folder. And by the way, while we're in here, you can see the address there. This is where, if you want the bots to just automatically load with 12 each time, put 12 in there. If you want skill levels, just read through these. Reaction time, ranks, you saw all those, learning priority. Just make sure there's a Sturmbot manual. Just make sure you read about the commands. That's a very powerful file. You can adjust it. Waypoint manual. Oh, by the way, don't read that manual. Go off to my site, for God's sake, read that one, which has been updated by an expert. I consider myself an expert. This guy, he made a beautiful manual. I've just built on it, right? And also, it's got everything you need. It's got a series of 4 videos which are on YouTube. There's links in here. There you go. If you're going to waypoint for this, do yourself a favour. Go watch the video. Read this. But anyway, there is commands. Again, on my website I've got these in more detail. There's a lot of commands. You can read it there, or you can go on my website and read the Sturmbot section. Okay, back to Half-Life. And then, in this case, for maps, we want it in the DoD folder. We don't want to put it in the wrong folder. Drag and drop. Copy there. Right into... Yeah, take your time when you're doing this stuff. Make sure it works. That's a map install. On my website, I've got a custom map pack. Again, you can see, like, put it in the DoD folder. Let's install them. There's a lot. That's the DoD folder. We can do it 2 ways. If that looks too confusing. There's DoD. There's DoD. Go to where, don't put it in another folder. Copy there. Apply to all. Write into. And then overwrite any other files that are in there. Usually for maps you don't have to overwrite the files, but you find we've got a lot more maps now. Let's go and have a quick look. I sure hope this video comes out. This is, by the way, I'm using OBS under Linux. This is totally Linux in here. So that's another layer that I've strained on. I got OBS running and I'm recording a video on top of all this Proton and having Linux and running a Windows program, Sturmbot and all the bots. Anyway, I got a lot more maps now. These are great. Harrington, favorite map. Another favorite map. Railroad, another. Love that, love that. This one here, Overlord, absolute favourite of mine from the old days. We're talking pre-Steam. No one ever really made it right. This one is a version of it, and it's got bots. All of those maps are just put in. I've tripled, I think, how many were in there. I just want to show you something for new users. There's supposed to be bazookas there on the ground, so we can bust some obstacles on the beach so the bots can get through. There's a problem with bazookas, and I've fixed up part of it, but I can't fix this one. The first map you load, if you load into a map that's got bazookas on the ground, they don't work. So the only thing is to don't have that as your first map loaded. We'll just load it again. There's another one of those bugs in this very old game that no one's ever going to fix. There's about 25 files that were incorrectly labelled for the bazookas not to spawn on the ground, and that's the official file. As you can see, there's one there now. There's one over there. There's another one over there. Now we can start the map. There's not many more bugs like that. You won't come across many more, but in here the bots should be loading because we've got waypoints. Pick up a bazooka. And by the way, as you saw there, I got smoke turned off. Notice the frames per second in this map. Let's reload, idiot. Get the last barrier. There's 3 barriers. Now I've got smoke. You can see if you've got a problem with the frames per second, there's some things you can do in that menu which are really cool. And as normal, the bots are taking a while because this is the first map. They'll be quicker on other maps. Just press my use key there. That sends artillery down. Yeah. I need ammo. Someone gonna give me ammo? Ammo? Oh, hear that? He said, yes sir. I want some ammo. Can I have some ammo? Did I get ammo? There you go. So, bots. Certain commands, they'll respond to you like, I need backup. When we go take a flag. Any danger over here? Go off and get this one. When I get shot. So, oh, there's one already there, but if, you know, V3, I need backup. Another good one is the I need ammo. B7, someone's going to give me ammo. They'll come to my spot. Sometimes it doesn't. He's probably going to come crawl up here and give me ammo now. No? Okay. Oh, yeah, he did. He gave me ammo. Another one, if you see a heap of bots congregated around an area, something I should have done long ago. Excuse me for a minute. Peace and quiet. Okay, if you see the bots, they're all tangled up. B2, they react to that. They'll split up sometimes. Doesn't always work. I better get rid of that bazooka. We'll keep going with this. As you can see, look at the frames per second now. 30 bots. I've got full over default effects on. The sound's turned off. Font's working good. Yeah, that always happens. like our little artillery there on the beach, there's guns. With the Axis bots, they will press and get all them coming down. Once you get past here, they're not there. So we've taken that one. Ooh. We're going to go get a rifle. Alright, we'll just finish off the video. Look at the frames per second down there. Does, you know, taking off a lot of graphics do anything? We'll find out. It's gone up to 58 again. Helps a bit. So it depends on your machine. 10 frames per second gain by turning all the crap off, or smoke. Let's reduce that. As you saw, as I ran up the beach, you saw some 30s and stuff like that. Let's say there's too many bots and they're gone. Coming back. Let's see what that does. We'll let them come in. I'll go sneak off and get a few things. Coming back. Die. Let me get this one flag. This is a single person cab. Another one over here. These last two are hard to get. This is a bit of a cheat because all the bots aren't out yet. Got that one. Ooh. Where's this other guy? Oh, two of them. Alright. I'll just keep playing. Looking at the frames per second. This map isn't the greatest resource hog, but it's a good example of what you can do with the menu. How can you can clean up your game. You can run a good amount of bots. And now when I'm running up the beach, it's not so bad. It certainly feels better. Let me just press that. I've got to show you that. Last thing I've got to show is that what I just pressed there, all of the crosshairs. Get somewhere dark. Maybe where there's no bots. So, pressing P. Let's cycle through them. There. Number. That's what it's set on at the moment. That one. Getting back into the manual. CL from memory. I think it's X hair style. As you can see, we're on X hair style 1. Right? Now let's press again. What are we on now? Get back into the developer console. We're on 3. So that's how to find out what crosshair am I on. Goodness me. Is I just press the up key, by the way, to get back. You're on crosshair style number 3. So let's leave this. And by the way, what I did there, disconnect from the map, then quick. If you go straight to quick, you might get a crash. It's better to do it that way. So, CL Crosshair 2 is actually my favourite, but we found out how to, what's my favourite crosshair. So we go back into our directory, Half-Life, DoD add-on, and we find the user config. We open it up. CL Crosshair style 1, 2 is my favourite, so I'm going to put that in. File, save, done. When we start the map up, start another game, what'll come up is your preferred crosshair. That's basically all I have for you. I hope that was informative and not too long and fun and you learned something. I certainly am enjoying playing Linux games. Windows is absolutely unbearable for me at the moment. Too much security problems, and Linux might be my daily driver for moving forward. And it's a pity that there isn't any bots that run on Linux native, but there might be. Keep an eye out on MarineBot. It's an up-and-coming bot. It's being developed for Day of Defeat right now, and that might make all the difference. You don't need all this Proton stuff, and we'll have a native Linux bot, which would be good for servers as well. Right, we'll see you later. Don't forget, there's a download in the description. Bye.